Hello, dear Secrets Behind the Stars family. Welcome to a new episode where love refuses to follow a script and decides to write its own. Today we bring you a tale that tilts tradition on its head and whispers to every heart listening that courage and tenderness can live in the same moment. What we're about to reveal about Barış Baktas and Yağmur Yüksel isn't a fleeting rumor, it's a romantic plot twist that left even seasoned reporters blinking at their notes. Before we dive into the tides of this unforgettable evening, a quick reminder, this channel stays alive because of you. If you cherish our exclusive stories and the care we put into each detail, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and, most importantly, consider joining our inner circle by clicking the join button. Your support is the anchor that lets Secrets Behind the Stars keep sailing with the quality you deserve. Now, fasten your heart to the deck, because we're setting a course straight into a night that started as a simple birthday and turned into a vow to the future. The world of celebrity gossip is used to certain rituals: the gentleman kneels, the velvet box opens, the cameras flash. But a quiet revolution just happened at sea. Barış Baktas, the leading man adored for his intensity on screen and his grounded charm off it, found himself living through a scene that not even the most romantic script could have forecast with this kind of honesty. It began as a plan to escape the noise. For his birthday, he wanted a celebration without the static of city streets or the glare of paparazzi lenses. The setting was chosen with care. A sleek yacht, floating in the calm outside the shore's last whispers, while the sky slowly melted into amber and violet. The evening was meant to be simple, intimate, uncluttered, a toast, a laugh, a private wish spoken to the horizon. But fate had a more cinematic turn in mind. In an intimate post shared afterward, Barış described an atmosphere so calm it felt like time was catching its breath. Just the two of them, the hush of water against the hull, the breeze smoothing the edges of every sound. As the sun skimmed the horizon like a final brushstroke, Yağmur Yüksel walked toward him holding a small box, her eyes steady, her smile almost secret. He told friends later that his mind darted toward the expected possibilities: a watch, maybe, or cufflinks, something sentimental but traditional. He didn't realize that the gift wasn't inside the box at all. It was the moment she was about to create, and the courage it carried. Then came the shock that echoes even now across social media. Yağmur, elegant and unflinching, lowered herself to one knee. Yes, she was the one who chose the moment and the gesture that breaks so many unwritten rules. On the deck, under a sky surrendering to night, she asked the question that women have been told to wait for. And in that pause, the sea seemed to lean in. Barış has admitted that he simply froze. Not out of doubt, but because everything inside him lit up at once. He said his chest felt too small for his heartbeat and that his first words tangled before they formed. The silence that followed wasn't uncertainty, it was the sacred quiet of someone realizing that a dream had walked up and taken his hand. Secrets Behind the Stars family, I want to turn to you for a second. How do you feel about a woman making the proposal? Is it a breathtaking act of love and self-assurance, or do you still prefer the old dance where the man leads? Tell us in the comments. And if you're already swept up in this modern fairy tale as I am, don't forget to give this video a like. Details from that night sound like they were storyboarded by the most romantic director in town. The deck was dressed in candlelight and a slow, unobtrusive melody drifted in the background, barely louder than the ocean's whisper. Insiders say the sentence Yağmur chose was simple and resonant, the kind of line that lingers long after it's spoken. Looking straight into his eyes, she asked, "Will you walk beside me for all the miles ahead?" No demand, no possession, just an invitation to share the map and the compass, to be co-captains of the same voyage. And then, without hesitation, tears. He didn't want to hide them and didn't need to. He said that in that exact second he fell for her again, harder, clearer, deeper. Because she dared to give voice to what both of them felt. He answered with a yes that sounded like laughter and relief rolled together. They embraced, and the world beyond the boat simply disappeared. They let the waves be their applause and kept the celebration just for themselves. Back in the cabin, away from the night air and the candles, they toasted a future that had just changed shape. The next morning, as they made their way back to shore, they tried to move quietly. But there are some kinds of happiness that glow right through sunglasses and baseball caps. Photographers caught them stepping onto the dock, saying nothing at all, and yet saying everything with the way they looked at each other. And for those who notice everything, there it was, a ring on Barry's back to Z's finger, glinting like a headline in the sun. The internet did what it always does when it wants to celebrate, it exploded. Fans dubbed it a love story for the 21st century, showering both of them with messages that praised Yağmur's bravery and Barry's tenderness. But the couple has been careful to draw a gentle circle around this new happiness. They aren't sprinting ahead. "We want to live inside this feeling for a while," he said quietly among friends, reminding everyone that what matters most is the foundation beneath the smiles. Work is moving forward, opportunities are unfolding, and while a wedding is not a question but a when, they intend to plan it at their own rhythm and, yes, in private. There's a thread in this story that feels especially fated. Both have often said, in separate interviews, that water calms them. The sea has always been a refuge, an open place where their minds clear and their shoulders drop. So Yağmur choosing the ocean as the backdrop wasn't a novelty. It was a love letter to who they are together. Those close to them say this was not an impulsive leap but a step that had been quietly approaching for a long time. It was the culmination of months upon months of partnership that matured away from gossip and proved itself in small, loyal routines. And now, of course, speculation blooms. If the proposal belonged to the sea, will the wedding, too? Some whisper about a ceremony with a nautical soul, graceful, minimal, anchored in nature. Maybe on a private beach or aboard a second, even more secluded boat where the tide keeps the guest list honest. No date has surfaced, but their posts, subtle hearts, a glint of metal at the edge of a photo, captions about horizons, have become breadcrumbs fans follow with devotion. What makes this story more than a headline is what it says about choosing your own narrative. In a world that loves its scripts, Yağmur refused to wait for her cue. Close friends say she told her inner circle, "I wanted to hold the moment in my hands and say what I already knew." That choice has inspired a wave of messages from women who felt seen by it, and from men who felt moved by the vulnerable beauty of saying yes without needing to be the one who orchestrated it. Barış, with tears he didn't apologize for, showed that strength and openness aren't opposites. Together, they shaped a memory that will be retold as a reference point. A marker of how love can be. Just picture it one more time. The hush, the music, the candle flames trembling in the breeze, her voice steady, his breath catching, the new ring shining where the cameras never expected it first. Night folding in around two people who decided that life would be better if they traveled it side by side. From secrets behind the stars, we send them all the hope and joy they've handed to the rest of us simply by living this moment out loud. And to you watching now. What kind of wedding do you see for them? A big jubilant celebration or something intimate with salt in the air and bare feet in the sand? Drop your theories in the comments, I can't wait to read them. Before you slip away, make sure you're subscribed, and if you'd like to support our work and unlock special content, click the join button. Thank you for sailing through this story with us. We'll be back soon with more exclusives. The kind that remind you that, even in the world of stars, the bravest light is the one two people make together. But there's more to the magic tucked inside that night than the single moment of a question asked on bended knee. It's the path that led them there, the quiet dinners after long days on set, the texts that said "I'm proud of you" when cameras weren't around, the weekends spent near water because that's where they remembered how to breathe. People close to them speak of a season of growth for both. Barry's learning to slow the engine of his ambition just enough to notice the scenery, and Yağmur trusting that her heart could be both soft and decisive. They became fluent in each other's rhythms. They learned the small mercies, turning off the phone, choosing patience, celebrating small wins no one else would ever see. So no, it wasn't sudden. It was steady. It was a tide coming in and never pulling back. The proposal didn't crown a whirlwind, it honored a quiet, faithful weave. That's why, when the question came, it felt like simply naming what already existed. And that's why the answer didn't need persuasion, it arrived already formed, like the sky changing color without anyone giving the order. Of course, speculation circles around their next steps, guest lists, dresses, suits, locations, vows. Some dream of lanterns drifting upward at dusk, others of a simple ceremony with handwritten promises and the surf as their choir. What many agree on is this: however they do it, it will feel like them. Clean lines, genuine laughter, no stagey moments. Maybe a small band playing songs that mean something to their story rather than to the charts. Maybe a sunset that obliges by showing off. For now, though, they are keeping their pace. Work calls, scripts arrive, rehearsals stretch late into the night. But within that momentum, they've found a stillness that belongs only to them. They hold hands in the car. They split one dessert. They share a playlist that never leaves the yacht's cabin, even when they're far from the shore. And yes, the ring, silvered light wrapped in a circle, says plenty even when they don't. It's a quiet announcement, an emblem not of possession but of promise. It gleams in the stray rays of a photo and sends comment sections spiraling into joy. Fans noticed it because fans notice everything, but they also recognized what it meant: two people choosing, without fanfare, to stay. If you've followed Barış Baktas and Yağmur Yüksel for any stretch of time, you know this suits them. They've always had a way of making even grand moments feel human-sized. They are charming on carpets and luminous on camera, but they are most themselves when the world quiets down, when the wind has something to say and the city's voice fades into a murmur. So of course the sea played witness. Of course candles translated what words couldn't. Of course the question was a doorway rather than a script. And so we circle back to where we began. A birthday that became a beginning, a tradition rewritten with grace, a yes that sounded like laughter under a sky that understood. Love, after all, is not a set of instructions. It's a brave leap taken by two people who decide to be each other's safe landing. Secrets behind the stars family, thank you for being here, for listening with open hearts, for sharing your thoughts with the kindness we see in this community every day. Tell us below. If you were to plan a sea-kissed ceremony for them, what would it look like? Would there be ribbons on the railings, or bare wood and flowers caught from the breeze? Would the vows be whispered or read aloud to the horizon? I'll be waiting in the comments. Remember to subscribe, tap the bell, and if you'd like to keep us going and get your hands on special extras, click the join button. Until next time, keep your eyes on the horizon, where the stories that matter glide in, soft as the tide and bright as a promise.